I found out my girlfriend got pregnant by another man after ghosting me for months. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. For anyone who has been cheated on, I sadly have a story that will trump yours and hopefully help you move on. This last relationship I had was an insane one. I met this girl several years ago and she made me believe that soulmates were actually a thing, when in the end of course it really isn't. She flew out of her state to my place to be with me. At the time she meant the world to me. We would be each other's confidant, open ears, and of course, lovers. We lived together for about a year and everything changed. She went from being this lovely woman to an abusive soul. I've never been spit on my face before. She changed that. I've never been pushed and shoved towards a wall and been told to hit the woman I loved by the woman I loved. She changed that. I was lied to constantly by her. And she lied so easily. Like it was breathing for her. Not a flinch. To the point where I caught her in a lie a couple times and she broke down crying, begging me not to go. Unfortunately, I would forgive her. In retrospect, the right move would have been to break up with her the moment she laid her hands on me. But for one thing, I was too scared to leave out of fear that I might not find another woman, and I also felt bad that she literally uprooted her life from her state just to be with me. As the relationship went on, the more she stopped having sex with me. I felt unloved, insecure, resentful, and lonely. I expressed to her constantly how important sex was to me in a relationship and it always fell on deaf ears. I told her that I didn't want to lose her, but I had to go and find someone to have sex with if she wasn't going to. She agreed to us staying together and having sex with other people. This was the death of the relationship. Every time I'd have sex with someone else, I'd feel empty inside and I'd feel terrible for the other women as they would start to have feelings for me. This went on for a little over a year. My ex then started finding success in her career. The more successful she got, the more I noticed she'd get more and more irritated with me over the littlest things. Until eventually we had a huge argument and she told me, "Why don't you just break up with me then?" I realized that she wanted me to break up with her because she found someone better even though I asked if she was seeing someone, and she said no. Another lie. After that argument, we went to our respective homes as we both decided not to live together anymore. That argument ended up being the last time we would see each other. The last time we talked to each other was around November of last year. We made a plan to meet up for dinner. I showed up, she didn't. I decided to go no contact after being stood up by her. I was actually doing pretty good moving on. I was about to go to the gym one night and I jumped on IG to scroll through stories and I saw my ex on one of my friend's IG stories doing a photo shoot and her stomach was distended. She was pregnant. I literally felt the world fall silent. I cried for weeks. I cried a lot when I was ghosted, but when I saw this, it really destroyed me. I blocked her on everything. Her phone number, socials, everything. I feel like I'm in a nightmare that I can't wake up from. After years of her begging me to stay with her, she turns around and does this to me. I've never had so many homicidal thoughts about someone. For a while, I didn't know who to turn to. I've gone to therapy but I felt I couldn't get into the violent thoughts out of fear that they will alert authorities. I tried crying it out, doing martial arts, lifting weights. I still wake up in the morning with this scary urge to get revenge. But I know it will subside. I've chosen to take the path of healing myself. I realize that on the lowest level, revenge will only continue my suffering and end any possibility of her suffering. What happened has happened. I must learn from my lack of judgment and move on knowing that I got out in time. I know now the face of a narcissist. Every day I feel as though I'm fighting a battle that no one sees. Putting on a smile while I fight through the pain. Hopefully one day it will all be okay.
When you're scared of losing someone, and not just scared of losing them, is when you're scared of not being able to find, a new person. So that's why you're scared of leaving that person, right? Scarcity, right? When you have a mindset of scarcity, you've already lost, because now you lost any kind of power in a relationship. Here's a man that he accepts abuse because he's scared. He's scared that he can't find anyone else. He's scared that, this is the only woman that would love him or that would be with him. And although that could be true, you gotta think, right? In life, you gotta be a fucking kind of thing. Like, whatever. Although it may be hard for you to find a relationship, it's always better to not be hurt by a relationship than, just being by yourself. I've learned that throughout the years where I wanted a relationship, but being constantly hurt, it doesn't feel better, it doesn't feel better than being alone. Now, it's better if you have the mindset that, you know what, you don't want to be hurt by a relationship, so you gotta keep improving yourself. Be the best version you can be. So hopefully you increase your odds, right? Your chances of finding someone new. So that's also important. Where there could be a chance where, yeah, you might not find someone else, but you definitely can't give up on yourself. Where you still don't improve on yourself, right? Improve yourself. Be the best version you can be. So you could improve your odds of finding someone new. Here's one where he stayed in an abusive relationship because he was scared, because he had a scarcity mindset. But I bet you that he didn't improve his life. You know, to increase your chances of getting women, you know, you improve your looks, you improve your mindset, you improve your financials. Those will help you in life. You know, you can improve your personality too. You know, your charms. You know, if you're funny, things like that. So everything that you could do to improve your odds of finding someone. You know, we're scared of doing that because it's hard work. You know, it's not easy, but you gotta think. Better to do the hard work than suffer through, you know, crap. So this is a story that needs to be told and heard.